What's good, everyone? Yup. What is going on, everybody? Today we are back, and today it is week number 18. Wait, week in Spanish, semana. Yeah. Semana 18. Back at it yet again with another video. Here we go. Time to close out the year. So, yep, disclaimer. This video is right now. It is 11:38 a.m. Central Time. The first game today, which is the one on screen, begins at 3:30 Central. So this video likely won't be uploaded before that game. Probably won't be completely over. But I am just letting you know, yes, I know this game is going to be probably going on as this is getting uploaded. So, but whatever, I'm still going to do it anyways. You already know, I've got the reports, I've got the clinching scenarios, I'm all prepared, just as always. So let's just get right into this video. I do want to let you know that just like last year, this video is going to follow the same regimen as it did for week 17 last year. I will continue to observe the time slots, but not the TV channels. So like, normally I'd talk about like, oh, I do all the early games on CBS, then I do all the early games on Fox, then all the late games on CBS, then the late games on Fox. But this is going to be all of the early games, then all of the late games. It's not going to be by TV channel because I ordered it this time instead of TV channel. I ordered it by interest of the game, as in how many implications are there on the game. So like the first 3 noon games or 4 noon games that we're going to go through have no playoff implications. So I'm just letting you know that there's going to be a period where, and then it's going to begin with there's a few implications, and then at the end of the video, not counting Sunday Night Football, I think the final one that I lined up in order is 49ers and Rams, and that game has a lot of implications. So I purposely did it so that the most interesting games are at the end of the video. So just want to let you know that I ordered it based on how much is at stake in the game, not by channel, even though you probably don't care about TV channels anyways. So here we go. Let's get started. 3:30 p.m. Central Time today, 4:30 Eastern is that game right there. The Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the Denver Broncos. This game is today, and yeah, I'm going to get you filled in on it right now. So here we go. ESPN and ABC. I will be watching this game as my video is uploading probably at the same time. Here we go, everybody. The Kansas City Chiefs are coming off of a last-second loss against the Cincinnati Bengals. I watched part of the game. I was watching the end of the game. Oh, it was a really good game, I'll tell you that. It was really entertaining to watch. My boy Justin Jefferson's LSU brother, Jamar Chase, absolutely went off in this game. 262, last week I meant, for the Bengals against the Chiefs. 262 yards and 3 touchdowns maybe, or 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he went off. What a game from him. It was unbelievable to watch. I had a good time watching this game. So Chiefs are coming off of a last-second loss. They've already clinched the AFC West. They are currently 11-5, second in the AFC, behind the Tennessee Titans. The Chiefs can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a Tennessee Titans loss to the Texans. So it's an outside shot, but hey, there's still a shot. Then we've got the Denver Broncos in this game. The Denver Broncos are coming off of, I believe, a loss. Yep, they are coming off of a loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. And yeah, Broncos are out of the playoffs. They're holding on to a record of 7-9. So here we go. For the Chiefs, running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out for this game. I believe he has a bruised shoulder, or maybe it's even more significant than that. He suffered it a couple weeks ago. He was out last week. He is out again this week. Right tackle Lucas Niang is also out in this game. He was taken off the field during the game against the Bengals. He was taken out of the game, so did not look like a good injury watching it. So, yeah. For the Broncos, they will be without quarterback Teddy Bridgewater in this game. I was very proud to see that my boy Teddy Bridgewater, I've known him from the Vikings. He used to be my favorite player here. I was very happy to see that he is not retiring in the offseason. He is planning on continuing, but it's just hard to see. He's had a hard time in the NFL he was good here, and then he had the knee injury, and that completely changed his career. And then now he had a tough break again this year with being out at the end of the year again due to that dangerous hit that was put on him. But yeah, it's just tough to see him this way because he had so much potential. But cornerback Patrick Surtain for the Broncos, that is their rookie corner from the first round. He is out for this game as well. Corner Ronald Darby is out, questionable. We have defensive tackle Shelby Harris. For this game, I do like the Chiefs. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. Chiefs are coming off of a close loss. Broncos lost. Broncos are not that good this year. They have a record of 7-9, but honestly, I would say their record is a testament higher than what they actually play like. I do like the Chiefs. They had a chance to clinch the number 1 seed last week, but they were unable to do it. I think the Chiefs should be able to win this game. They just simply have the better overall team. Kansas City has been hot this whole year, ever since week 5 or so, week 6, around that time. There was a struggling period, and now they're hot. The Chiefs are a hot team in the NFL. Even last week, they lost, but they still played good. Nothing against them. The Bengals just simply played better. I like the Chiefs in this game. I don't know what else to say besides that they just simply have the better team. They have more momentum going into this game because of the fact that the Chiefs actually have something to play for. The Broncos are out of the playoffs. Who knows how high their effort level is going to be. Obviously, they're still going to try. You always want to beat your division rival, but I do like the Chiefs. They're going to come in with momentum. Even though they're coming off of a loss, they're going to have something to play for. They are hungry for that number 1 seed again. Even though I personally don't think they're going to get it because, spoiler alert, the Titans are going to beat the Texans. But I don't think they're going to get it, but I do think that the Chiefs are going to come out with a vengeance in this game. I like the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. Let me know all your picks in the comments down below. I like the Chiefs. Moving on, tonight, Saturday Night Football, we have the Cowboys and Eagles. Great NFC East showdown coming up next. It is the Dallas Cowboys set to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. This game is airing tonight at 7:15 p.m. Central, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN and ABC. I will not, unfortunately, be watching, at least not majority of the game. I have to work tonight at 5 o'clock. So I'll miss the end of the Chiefs-Broncos, and I will miss majority, if not all of this game, but most likely I will miss majority of this one. But still an interesting game, so I'm still going to talk about it. The Dallas Cowboys are coming off of a loss to the Arizona Cardinals. The Dallas Cowboys had a chance to stay alive as number 1 seed in the NFC, but their hopes slipped away because they lost to the Cardinals, and the Packers beat my Minnesota Vikings in a sad game, but I'll talk about that one later. Philadelphia Eagles, on the other hand, are coming off of a win over the Washington football team. Because they won over Washington and the Vikings lost to the Packers, they have clinched a playoff spot already. So here we go. It's notes time. The Dallas Cowboys, everybody, have already clinched the NFC East title. But in this game, they really can't clinch anything besides all they're going for is playoff seeding. So they really can't. They can't clinch number 1 because the Green Bay Packers already did. So they're just kind of going to be playing for seeding purposes. And just for the sake of beating the Eagles. Because I would love to beat the Eagles. Because here in Minnesota, we don't like the Eagles. The Dallas Cowboys are 4th in the NFC. They are holding on to a record of 11-5. The Philadelphia Eagles already have clinched a playoff spot. But they can't clinch anything this week. They will end either as the number 6 or 7 seed. So they're also just playing for A, the sake of winning, and B, they're playing just because they could move up. Right now, they're number 7 in the NFC. They're holding on to a record of 9-7. Again, they can skirt on up to the number 6 seed. I'm kind of ashamed I just said skirt. I shouldn't have done that. They can move up to the number 6 seed, but that will all involve a win. As for notes, the Dallas Cowboys will be without wide receiver Michael Gallup. He tore his ACL last week. I was watching it. Ooh, it looked like a painful injury, but he was able to catch the touchdown, but that really don't matter. Looked like a very painful injury. On the COVID list is linebacker Micah Parsons. He is out for this game due to reports I saw. Corner Anthony Brown is also on the COVID list. Out for this game, running back Tony Pollard will not be playing for the Cowboys. Left tackle Tyron Smith, but he's been hurt most of the year. Corner Trevon Diggs, it's always hard to say his name right the first time. Trevon Diggs is out for this game. Safety Jaron Curse, former Vikings player, is also out for this game, and that is it for the Cowboys. For the Eagles, on the COVID list, I believe they weren't listed on the injury report, but they were all listed as out, so that means if they're not on the injury report, then I assume they're on the COVID list. So I guess I could be wrong, though. Running back Boston Scott, tight end Dallas Goedert, right guard Nate Herbig, defensive tackle Fletcher Cox, linebacker Alex Singleton, linebacker Gennard Avery, corner Avonte Maddox, and safety Marcus Epps, and safety Rodney McLeod. They were all out, but they didn't show up on the injury report, so that led me to assume COVID list, but I could be wrong. Also out due to injury in this game is running back Miles Sanders. He is out for this game. Questionable left guard Landon Dickerson and right tackle Lane Johnson. Oh, okay, so both teams do have things to play for. It is more, part of it is just simply you want to beat the Cowboys or you want to beat the Eagles, but there is really more than that. Again, the Eagles are playing for playoff seeding. Even though they can't move up to the 5, they still can become the number 6, even though they're number 7 right now. They have an opportunity to move up. As for the Cowboys, they also have an opportunity to move up, and that's all that we're looking at. They've already clinched the division. The Eagles have already clinched a playoff spot. Both teams are just about seeding purposes. In this game, the Cowboys will be without some big pieces in this game. Parsons is out. Gallup will be out. Diggs will be out. Pollard will be out. And yeah. But for the Eagles, we also have some big names like Goddard, Miles Sanders, and Boston Scott. Fletcher Cox, one of the best in the game. And yeah, could be without Lane Johnson. They have some big pieces that could be missing tonight in this game. Both teams really do. To me, it comes down to which team is desiring it more and just simply which team is going to have the fire more. Both teams have an opportunity to win this game. Oh, man. Let's think. I'm honestly on the fence with who I'm going to pick in this game. I like the Cowboys. I've liked them all year. But the Eagles, for some reason, I'm just home field advantage on a Saturday night football game. Final decision is going to be in within the next 5 seconds. Final decision is in. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. The only reason is because Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, and Boston Scott. Those are the 3 players, and those are the 3 reasons why I'm going to pick the Cowboys. Cowboys are a better overall team, but they do have a lot of pieces missing in this game. Like I already mentioned, Gallup, Parsons, and everyone else I already mentioned. Fletcher Cox. Wait, never mind, he's with the Eagles. But yeah. I do like the Cowboys in this game. Why? Honestly, I don't know. I've liked the Cowboys all year, and I haven't been avid on picking the Eagles. I'm going to go with the Cowboys just simply because I feel like it. And yeah, that's about it. Because I feel like it. That's my reasoning. Moving on to the Sunday games. Kicking it off on the noon slate. Remember, I just said we are going to have like 4 games that are not important. So I'm just warning you. Yep, I can confirm. We're starting with Washington versus Giants. That's both teams are out of the playoffs. Then we have Bears versus Vikings. Both teams are out of the playoffs. And then we have Packers versus Lions. Packers already clinched the number 1 seed, so they don't have anything to play for, and the Lions are out of the playoffs. So, yep, Next 3 games you're about to see me talk about have no importance, so I'm going to kind of go through them hopefully faster. So moving on to the noon games. We've got Washington taking on the Giants. Again, like I just talked about, this game really serves no importance. Both teams are out of the playoffs. The Washington football team is coming off of a loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. The New York Giants are coming off of a blowout loss against the Chicago Bears. Moving on, here we go. The Washington football team is sitting with a record of 6-10. The New York Giants are sitting on a record of 4-12. Both teams are long out of the playoffs, so yes, that's it for that part. For Washington, on the COVID list is corner William Jackson. Out in this game, tight end Ricky Seals-Jones, wide receiver Curtis Samuel, and defensive end Montez Sweat are all out in this game. For the Giants, they will be without wide receiver Kadarius Toney. He's had a tough break. He's been hurt for quite a bit of the year. Really, the whole Giants team has been dealing with injuries. But Kadarius Toney is out, John Ross is out, and quarterback Mike Glennon is out, which is probably joyous to Giants fans that Jake Fromm will be starting this game. Questionable is wide receiver Colin Johnson, as is right guard Will Hernandez. Bam, that's your report. Talking time. The Washington football team, this year they've really de-seeded expectations. I thought Washington football team going into the year, I had them winning the NFC East again. They looked like the better team, but they aren't the better team. Dallas Cowboys have really turned it on this year, but I already talked about the Dallas Cowboys earlier. Washington has not been where we thought they would. The Giants, well, we set the bar about here, and that's where they about are. No one had high expectations for the Giants. People had high expectations for Washington, and yeah. I like Washington in this game. The Giants will be starting Jake Fromm at quarterback, which is happy to everyone. Daniel Jones is out for this game. Glennon is out for this game, which leaves the second-year player from, or is he third year? Was he drafted in 2020 or 20? Pretty sure it's 2019 now that I think about it. Wasn't it by the Bills? I believe Jake Fromm was drafted by the Bills, if I remember right, in like the mid to late rounds. I like Washington in this game. Why? My reasoning is going to be because the Giants are starting with a inexperienced young quarterback. That is going to be my reason. Maybe it would be different if they were starting Daniel Jones. I mean, he's not that good either, but maybe my answer would change, but I like Washington in this game against a rookie quarterback. I don't know what else to say. It's kind of a bad game, and I want to move on, so we're going to go with Washington. Moving on, it is my team, the Minnesota Vikings, and they're facing the Chicago Bears. Alright, this game as well has zero purpose to it. It is the Chicago Bears. They're going up against my team, as you can see everywhere in the Skull Cave. That is the Minnesota Vikings. They are set to face off tomorrow, 12 o'clock on Fox. Minnesota Vikings are holding on to a record of 7-9. They are out of the playoffs for the third time in 4 years. Chicago Bears are also out of the playoffs. They're holding on to a record of 6-10. Chicago Bears will be without wide receiver Jakeem Grant in this game. He was placed on the IR. On the COVID list is quarterback Justin Fields. He will not be playing. Therefore, Andy Dalton will be the starter in this game. The Bears will also be without defensive tackle Akeem Hicks. If you're a Vikings fan and you've watched any Vikings versus Bears game in the past 3 years, you would know who Akeem Hicks is. He absolutely dominates the Vikings, and I have a lot of respect for him. Akeem Hicks is a great player, and he absolutely owned the Vikings' offensive line in Week 15 when they played. Questionable in this game, linebacker Robert Quinn. That would be a big piece if he misses. Defensive tackle Eddie Goldman is questionable, as is corner Duke Shelley. For the Minnesota Vikings, doubtful in this game is defensive tackle Michael Pierce. I believe he is with an illness. He was out last week against the Packers with his illness, and he is doubtful again this week. Questionable is corner Cam Dantzler, and corner Mac Alexander. Why do I feel like Chris Boyd was on the injury report, but I might not be sure. If Dantzler and Mac are both out, the Vikings corner room has already taken big hits this year. We had Bashad Breeland as a starter, and then we released him. Let's think about it this way. We have Cam Dantzler, who didn't start at the beginning of the year, and he has been starting now ever since Breezy was released, and he's inconsistent, but he's decent. Then we've got Mac Alexander, who is questionable in this game, but this year, Mac Alexander's been awful. He's one of the worst PFF-ranked corners in the entire NFL. Then we've got Patrick Peterson, who's a homie. I really hope he comes back next year. Even if Mike Zimmer is not going to be here, I really hope that Pat P is going to be back. He's one of my favorite players on the team. I just love watching. I watch the podcast, All Things Covered. He's a really nice guy, really cool dude, and he's a really good player too. I've had a lot of respect for him. Even in Arizona, I was a big fan of him. I always liked him first because we had Adrian Peterson, and his last name was Peterson, so I was like, yo, that's cool. But as an actual player, he used to be one of the best in the league. And he's still got some tread left on the tires. I know he's not a shutdown corner. He's not an absolute Xavier Rhodes 2017 anymore. I know he's not that. But he's still got some tread left on the tires. And this year, for the most part, he was pretty good. He did a pretty good job for the most part. I just said the same sentence twice, just flipped around. That was weird. But, yeah. Vikings corner room has not been good this year. Then we've got Chris Boyd, too. He hasn't started really the whole year. But Chris Boyd, he's had his ups, he's had his downs. In the Pittsburgh game, we all remember when he got called for the taunting penalty. And then Anthony Barr gave him a deserving shove. And then he's like, bro, what did I do wrong? And everyone is like, you are absolutely stupid for what you just did. And, so he's had his hot and cold moments. Really, the whole Vikings corner room has been debatable. But I do think it's funny that Mike Zimmer likely will be fired at the end of the year. And yet one of their top positions of need is still corner. So that does kind of speak on the testament of coaching, though. Because they've got pieces. Well, corner's been a position of need for years, and then we've got Mike Zimmer here, the head coach, defensive specialist here, former defensive coordinator, he's like an expert with DBs, so you'd think you should have really good DBs with a coach like Zimmer, and yet, bro, we get cooked like every week, so, this dude, I don't know, I don't even know what to say. But I guess that's one of the negatives of Mike Zimmer is defensive coach, knows a lot about corners. It's like his favorite position group to ever exist because he loves them double more than every other position group that is on the team. And then they're not even good. So I figured he would try and do something more about it, but I guess he's not. So it's just another reason for him to get the boot at the end of the year, like will likely happen. I saw a report this week that said between now and the game, it just said before Sunday's game against the Bears, it appears that the Vikings owners, which is the Wilf family, Mark Wilf, Leonard Wilf, Ziggy Wilf, they will get together and discuss the future of the team, which means general manager Rick Spielman and head coach Mike Zimmer, and based on what happens to them. Personal thoughts, I think Mike Zimmer is likely going to get the boot. You know, on this channel for the past year now, well, not full year, but for the past 3.5 months, I've been complaining about Mike Zimmer because I don't like him. Ever since, I think, week 4 was when I started hopping on the Fire Mike Zimmer team. You know I haven't liked him, and it appears that, this could be his last game. I never really thought about that until right now, that tomorrow could be Mike Zimmer's final game as head coach. Because, if they're going to have their decision before the game, if the Wolves make their decision, well, then that means tomorrow's game won't influence it. But I am a little frustrated at Mike Zimmer for playing starters. I do understand where he's coming from. He's treating it like a regular season game. He is saying, this is a regular season game. We're going to start our starters because why wouldn't we? He's almost saying. I do understand where he's coming from with that. I do get why he's playing the starters. He's playing it just like a regular game. He wants to win. Even if he does get the boot at the end of the year here, he wants to end the year on a win, I think. But I also think another reason he could be playing starters is almost because he's trying to backhand slap Vikings fans in the face. And I'll tell you why I think that. It's because the whole week, ever since the Vikings got absolutely blown out by the Packers on Sunday night last week, Vikings fans have been clamoring, please start Kellen Mond this week and let's play our backup guys. Let's make this not necessarily like a preseason game, but I mean, let's kind of do it because who cares if we win this game? But it's we're about to see the future of our team. So that could make us excited for next year if we see our young players go out there and do well. A bunch of our rookies that haven't gotten playing time at all this year. One of the things that does frustrate me with Mike Zimmer is he'll take a veteran player that's bad and he'll take a rookie with potential but uncertainty. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to choose the bad vet. And he just thinks experience is the way to go. If I've got a 5-year player that is awful and we've got a rookie who hasn't played at all yet, I'm going to take the vet on this side because they've got experience. And us Vikings fans sit there what are you doing? The perfect example of that is the Vikings right tackle position. For majority of the year, the Vikings have started at right tackle with Oli Udoh. He has played. At the beginning of the year, he was super hyped up. He had a really good training camp, really good preseason. So I was all right, Oli Udoh is going to be fine as a starter this year. And this is his 3rd year maybe? So we thought, hey, he could be our right tackle of maybe even the future. He could be for this year. He could be actually a good player. So the season started, and he did not do that good. So toward the beginning to middle of the year, people were all right, all this hype really turned out to be nothing because he's not doing good. So everyone wanted to bench him and start our rookie that we drafted in the 3rd round, Wyatt Davis. But the whole year, we continued starting Oli Udoh except for a couple games when we finally started Mason Cole because Darisaw was out for a week, so we kicked what's-his-face. We kicked Udoh out to the left tackle, and then, that's a whole fiasco. But we continued staying with Udoh the whole year. And the moral of the story is that even though Mike Zimmer knows that Udoh is bad, he continued to stick with him the whole year because he's a veteran. Instead of starting a player like Mason Cole, who's also a veteran, but he was only traded in the offseason, so it's only his 1st year here. And then Wyatt Davis, who's a rookie. We don't know how good he is. We spent a high pick on him, a 3rd rounder, on Wyatt Davis. And he didn't see the field at all this year. So that was something that frustrated me with their right guard position. It was a problem the whole year. He knew it was a problem, and yet he chose not to address it and give it to the bad vets. Which is... Sorry. In a way, that's almost what he's doing again this week. He knows he could play the rookies because people want him to play the rookies. We want to see what this team can do. We want to see what this team could be next year. And yet he's choosing to play the vets to win, even though, let's be honest, not many people here care that we win. I mean, I care if we win, but if we win with our rookies, if we lose in a close game with our rookies, that is what I'd rather see than winning with the starters. That's to me, though. But, so I almost do think, though, it was a little bit of a slap in the face to Vikings fans. Him saying, I'm not going to play the backups, and I'm going to play the starters because fans don't want me to play the starters, and he knows that he is not well liked among fans, so he's going to try and give us a slap in the face. And I think that's almost a little bit of what he did. Same with when he talked about Kellen Mond last week. His comments were absolutely asinine. They were absolutely blatant, in my opinion. If you don't know what happened, Kellen Mond went out there for 3 snaps on last Sunday night's game. He only got in because the quarterback, Sean Mannion, the Vikings quarterback, who we know is bad, and yet they still chose to start him. He had hand cramps, so he left the game, and they put Kellen Mond in at quarterback. And then he was in for 3 plays. They went 3 and out, and then just like that, they punted the ball away, and Sean Mannion came back for the next drive. The first pass was an incomplete pass. Second pass was an incomplete pass. The third pass was incomplete, The first pass was a short pass to the left. It was like a screen pass to someone, I don't remember who. Second one, I believe, was incomplete, and the third one was incomplete. Very nearly a pick six, but Packers defender dropped the ball. But then Mike Zimmer chose to keep him out of the game and put Mannion back in. Team was already down by like 20 points, so it was like, why not just put Mond out there? Like, hope was gone at that point that we were going to win the game. So I was like, why is Mannion still out here when we could put Mond out here and just give him some practice reps? Like, how are these players going to learn in the NFL if they don't ever get any game reps? And yet he chose to keep Mond out of the game. So then a reporter, I believe Chris Thomason, but I don't remember for sure, asked him in the post-game press conference, are we going to see, it was along the lines of, what are the odds that we see Kellen Mond next week against the Bears? And he said, are you in favor of seeing Kellen Mond against the Bears? And Mike Zimmer said, not particularly. Why? Because I see him every day. As in, he sees him every day at practice. Does that mean he's bad at practice? Well, guess what? The same thing is like, I know I'm kind of ranting on, but like, you're watching this video for a reason, so you should expect it. Same thing is with quarterback Kyle Sloter in the Vikings. So in 2018, the Vikings signed Kyle Sloter. He did really good in the preseason. He was a fan favorite player. He was like a preseason GOAT around here. Kyle Sloter. He made some good plays. Like, I still go back and watch some of his highlights from the preseason in 2018 and 2019 because he did a good job. He made good choices for the most part, and he had good throws, so I enjoy watching him. And then in 2018, he spent the whole season, I believe, as inactive on the roster. And then in 2019, he played again in the preseason. Fans loved him, and then Mike Zimmer released him. And everyone was like, bro, what are you doing? And Mike Zimmer said, because he doesn't practice well. Like, what a weak reason. So what he doesn't practice well? If he plays good in games, it really doesn't matter. To me, if I was a head coach, I would want the player that gives me the best chance at winning. Maybe they don't always practice the best, but I would want the player that gives me the best chance of winning. And to me, a backup quarterback like Sloter would have been our best chance, but instead we said see ya. We had Sean Mannion as our backup, who we know was bad, and it's almost the same thing like Kellen Mond here. Supposedly he doesn't practice well, but Mike Zimmer doesn't want to see him out there because he doesn't practice well. I think it is a blatant comment that he made, and the reason is, here's the thing that I think about it. If he said that to a 5-year vet that has been a backup but has played reps in the NFL before, but they're not necessarily the best, and if he gives his opinion on them, that's different. I mean, Mike Zimmer's been known to be brutally honest. He's been known to be honest before. But I think there's a difference between him saying a comment about a 5-year vet that's been around, they know what kind of know what they're doing, and there's a difference between that and saying it to a rookie that's had 3 regular season snaps in the NFL. There's a difference.
Because Kellen Mond, look at what that's going to do to him. The one thing I fear is that this is going to give Kellen Mond, like, he's going to get, like, football insecurities because of this, is what I'm going to say. As in, is he going to lose a bunch of confidence? Is he going to lose the confidence because of what happened? So that is why I think his comments were absolutely blatant. Personally, you know I'm on the Fire Mike Zimmer squad. I do think that on Monday he will be getting the boot. I hope so. What I think is interesting, though, is watching will Rick Spielman be fired. Because he's done good work here in the past. But I think it's interesting to think, is he going to be gone, or what's the scoop on that? So, yep, there's my rant. I like the Vikings in this game. Why? Because they're playing starters. I mean, the Bears probably are too, but they will be starting Andy Dalton in this game, so I'm just going to throw that out there. I do like Minnesota playing starters, playing Kirk Cousins and whatnot. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings, but it's possible. What's his face? Mike Zimmer could be out of office by Sunday night. Don't think that's going to happen. I think it's more likely to be a Monday thing, but it's going to be interesting to see. Is he going to get the boot, which is most likely, but I think it's going to be interesting to know, is Spielman going to get the boot? So, yeah, I like the Vikings in this game. I just ranted for a long time about the Minnesota Vikings and Mike Zimmer, but you know that's what I do around here, so don't be surprised. Packers and Lions coming up next.
We are moving on. I'm not going to make this a long game either. We've got the Packers and Lions. This game has no implications, so it won't take too long. The Green Bay Packers are sitting with a record of 13-3. They've already clinched the number 1 seed in the NFC, so they will be starting Jordan Love in this game. Packers aren't playing for anything besides the win. The Detroit Lions are 2-14-1. They're out of the playoffs. Are they 2-14-1? No. They must be 2-13-1. I think I accidentally put their record wrong. Bam. The Lions are out of the playoffs, so this game doesn't really matter to them. Both teams don't have any implications here, so we're just going to go through it. The Green Bay Packers, let's kick it off with them. Packers will be without right tackle Billy Turner, defensive end Kingsley Keke, corner Jair Alexander. Questionable left tackle David Bakhtiari, running back Aaron Jones, and linebacker Devondre Campbell. Lions will be without left tackle Taylor Decker, right tackle Penei Sewell. Questionable in this game is quarterback Jared Goff, but I've seen that he is expected to play. Tight end Brock Wright, wide receiver Josh Reynolds, left guard Jonah Jackson, defensive end Michael Brockers, and last but not least, linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maybin is also questionable. So it appears as though Lions are probably going to be playing starters. Packers won't be playing starters. If I'm being completely honest, I think the Packers are still going to win this game. Even with Jordan Love at the helm, I still do think they should be able to beat Jared Goff and the Lions. Packers are just simply the better overall team. Yes, even with backups, they're the better overall team. Lions could put up a fight, but I guess I'm going to go with the Packers. I just feel like the Packers are going to win this game. Even with Rodgers not playing, I'm going to go with the Packers. What an extended break for Rodgers, because he's out. Well, he's not going to play this game. And then, because he's not going to play this game, and then he's going to have a bye week next week, so the toe's going to get all healed up for him, and then he's going to win the Super Bowl, and then he's going to retire, and then Vikings fans will actually be so thankful. But, yeah, that's it. I'm going to go with the Packers. Moving on next, we have the Bengals taking on the Browns. We've got the Bengals, and they are taking on the Browns. Cincinnati Bengals have already clinched Cincinnati Bengals have clinched the AFC North. They clinched it. They are coming off of a win over the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cleveland Browns are coming off of a loss on Monday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bengals clinch the AFC North. They can clinch the number 1 seed, but it is a very complicated scenario that likely will not happen. Bengals are 10-6. They are holding on to 3rd in the AFC. They are playing for seeding purposes. Remember, they do hold the tiebreaker over the Chiefs, so if they win and the Chiefs lose, well, then that means that they would be the number 2 seed, the Bengals would. So, yeah. Browns are out of the playoffs. They have a record of 7-9. On to report. Bengals versus Browns. There we go. Bengals will be without quarterback Joe Burrow in this game. He is resting, which I don't blame him because he was hurt at the end of the Chiefs game, I believe. Unless that was 2 weeks ago. Burrow will be resting. Running back Joe Mixon is on the COVID list. He is out for this game. Left guard Quinton Spain. Center Trey Hopkins. Defensive end Cam Sample. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson. And 3 defensive tackles. DJ Reader, BJ Hill, and Larry Ogunjobi are all out for this game. Also out, linebacker Jermaine Pratt and safety Vaughn Bell. That is all for the Bengals. And questionable, tight end CJ Uzama and defensive end Sam Hubbard. Moving on, we have the Browns. They will be without quarterback Baker Mayfield in this game. I believe he's getting surgery to his shoulder, so I don't blame him. He's got nothing to play for in this game, so they will likely be rolling with Case Keenum. Corner Greg Newsome. No. I forgot to take him off the list. He's in this game. Sorry, guys. All right. Denzel Ward is out for this game. He is a corner. Defensive tackle Malik Jackson is also out. Questionable running back Kareem Hunt. Tight end David Njoku. Safety Ronnie Harrison. And safety John Johnson are all questionable. Bam. For this game, we've got the Bengals and the Browns. The Bengals are playing for seeding purposes. The Browns are playing for really no purpose. I like the Bengals in this game. They actually have reason to play for. Even with Joey Burrow out, even with Joe Mixon out, I still do like them. So, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this game. Why? They're going to be more motivated to play. Both teams' starting quarterbacks are out, so it really comes down to which starting quarterback can lead their team better between, I believe, Brandon Allen and Case Keenum. I like the Bengals in this game, so yeah. Moving on, we have got the Colts taking on the Jaguars. Alrighty, the Colts and the Jaguars are coming up next, everybody. The Indianapolis Colts are coming off of a loss against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Jacksonville Jaguars are coming off of a loss against somebody. New England Patriots, they lost by like 40 points. The Colts have currently not clinched a playoff spot. They're 6th in the AFC right now with a record of 9-7. The Colts can clinch a playoff spot with a win or a Steelers loss. So these are two separate scenarios. Either A, they win, or B, the Steelers lose against... Who do the Steelers play? The Ravens. Either the Steelers lose to the Ravens and the Chargers lose to the Raiders on Sunday night and the Dolphins beat, I believe the Patriots. Yep. So it is definitely possible that the Steelers will lose to the Ravens. It is possible, but I think unlikely, that the Chargers will lose to the Raiders. And it is unlikely that the Dolphins will beat the Patriots. But all they need to do is win and get in, and that's it. As for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are 2-14 and out of the playoffs. The Colts will be without cornerback Xavier Rhodes, former Viking. He is out in this game. They'll also be without safety Anderson Dejo, also a former Viking. He is out in this game. Questionable is defensive tackle DeForest Buckner. Jacksonville Jaguars will be without tight end James O'Shaughnessy, left tackle Cam Robinson, center Brandon Lindor, safety Andrew Wingard, and that's it. I like the Colts. They're just simply the better team. Jaguars are bad. They're going to implode. Colts, their loss was a bit freakish. They still should be able to win this game. I don't see any reason why they don't win this game. I'm going to go with the Colts to win this one and clinch a playoff spot. Moving on, we have got the Titans. Titans and Texans coming up next. The Tennessee Titans can clinch the number 1 seed with a win. That's all they need, everybody. Here we go. Tennessee Titans are coming off of a win over the Miami Dolphins. They ended the Dolphins' playoff hopes. The Texans are coming off of a loss against the San Francisco 49ers. The Texans are out of the playoffs. They have a record of 4-12. The Titans have already clinched the AFC South. Currently, the Titans are first in the AFC with a record of 11-5. They can clinch the number 1 seed with a win. All they need to do is beat the Texans, and they are going to be the number 1 seed. They're going to get a bye week next week. All they got to do is get that W, baby. Tennessee Titans running back Derrick Henry was designated to return to practice this past week. I'd assume that means he's going to play, but I'm going to figure it out for certain. Derrick Henry on Google. It says Mike Vrabel said he thinks he looked good at practice this week. So that's really it's not for certain, but it's definitely possible Derrick Henry could be back for this game. Linebacker Bud Dupree of the Titans also faces a misdemeanor assault charge after, I believe, he got in a fight with a store worker at like Walgreens or something like that, I saw. But he will be playing because NFL has not done anything about it yet. They will be without defensive tackle T.R. Tart. He's been out basically the whole year because his name has not moved on my report basically the whole year. Texans will be without safety Justin Reed. Questionable is wide receiver Chris Conley. Bam. I don't know what to say in this game besides I like the Titans. Titans have a chance. They can clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC with a win. I like them. As for the Texans, they're not good. I don't know what to say about them. They're starting Davis Mills at quarterback. That can speak for itself. And, yeah, I guess this is going to be another interesting offseason on seeing what's going to happen to Deshaun Watson. So, that's what it was last offseason, and that's what we're about to see again this offseason is just the reports of what's going to happen to him 2 years in a row. But I think it's going to be interesting to figure out what happens. I think it's going to be interesting to see, is he going to get traded or what's all going to happen? I like the Titans in this game. They have things to play for. They have a chance at the number 1 seed. I don't like the Texans because they're bad, and that is all I have to say about that. I'm going to go with the Titans to clinch the number 1 seed with a win. Moving on, we've got our final early game. It is the Steelers taking on the Ravens. Steelers and Ravens are set to take off. Nope. They're set to close out my early slate of games, everybody. So here we go. Pittsburgh Steelers have clinched nothing. They are coming off of a win on Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a Colts loss to the Jaguars, which is very unlikely to happen. And as long as the Chargers and Raiders game tomorrow night does not end in a tie, which is very likely to happen because Brandon Staley said that they're not going to kneel the ball. So, Steelers have an outside probability of making the playoffs. They are 9th in the AFC with a record of 8-7-1. So, they have to win this game. Chargers-Raiders does not end in a tie, which is very likely it will not end in a tie. And then they just need the Colts to lose against the Jaguars, which is very unlikely to happen, but it's possible. The Ravens have currently clinched nothing. They can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a Colts loss and a Chargers loss to the Raiders and a Dolphins loss to the Patriots. They're 11th in the AFC with a record of 8-8.
Report: Steelers will be questionable in this game. Or nope, out in this game. Corner Joe Hayden, defensive end Isaiah Buggs, center Kendrick Green, doubtful left tackle Dan Moore. For the Ravens, they will be without quarterback Lamar Jackson. They will be starting Tyler Huntley in this game. Corner Anthony Averett is also out in this one. Questionable is wide receiver Devin Duvernay and left guard Ben Powers. This is actually an interesting game. Both teams have fight. Both teams want to win, but they also want to make the playoffs, even though they both have an outside probability. Very unlikely that the Steelers will make it. Also very unlikely that the Ravens will make it, but you're saying there's a chance? I am. Oh man. I don't know who I like in this game. Even without Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, they still could win. Even with Tyler Huntley and a quarterback, the first time he appeared this year, he didn't do awful. The second time he appeared, which was last week, the Ravens lost to the Rams, but he didn't play awful either. I still think that even with Tyler Huntley, the Ravens still have winning potential. I like the Ravens, actually, in this game, now that I think about it. Home game in Baltimore, even with Lamar out, I still do like them. The Steelers were barely able to win, and this appears as though it likely will be the last game of Ben Roethlisberger's career. I like the Ravens in this one. I feel like they just simply have a better team. They're going to be more fired up to play, even though both teams will be. I do like the Ravens in this game over the Steelers. Moving on to the late games, we're kicking it off with Saints versus Falcons. Saints and the Falcons are set to face off in an NFC South showdown. I think something really interesting to watch is going to be the final playoff spot in the NFC, which is between the Saints and the 49ers. It's going to be really interesting, I think, to watch how it ends. But, yeah. The New Orleans Saints, everybody, are coming off of a win over the Carolina Panthers. The Atlanta Falcons are coming off of a loss against the Buffalo Bills. Saints will be without left tackle Teron Armstead. He's been out for quite a while, so not surprised. Questionable in this game, right tackle Ryan Ramczyk, running back Mark Ingram, defensive end Marcus Davenport. As for the Falcons, they will be without defensive end Jonathan Bullard in this game. He has appeared multiple times this year as out on their report. Tight end Kyle Pitts is questionable. I'll just go out and flat out say this game is in Atlanta, but I do like the Saints. Saints have drive to play for. If they lose this game, 49ers clinch a playoff spot. They need to... Oh, I didn't even read the report. The playoff report. Saints have currently clinched nothing. They can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a 49ers loss to the Rams, which is possible to happen. That's like a 50-50 game to me between the Rams and the Niners. It's going to be a good game. I'm really excited to talk about that one in a little bit and just to watch it. I hope that's the nationally televised game is Rams-Niners. I hope that one's televised in Minnesota because I really want to see it. The Saints are 8th in the NFC. They have a record of 8-8. The Falcons are 7-9 and out of the playoffs. I like the Saints in this game. They know they're going to have drive to play for. They know they need to win to make the playoffs, and I think they're going to come out on fire. As for the Falcons, well, they're going to try and stop it, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I like the Saints in this game. I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think the Saints are going to win, so because of that, I think it's all going to come down to the Rams-Niners game. Because if the Saints win, then it comes down to the Rams-Niners game, like I said. If the Rams win, then the Saints make the playoffs and the Niners get the boot. And if the Niners win, they're in the playoffs and the Saints get the boot. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch the Rams-Niners. I'm going to keep hyping it up. Soon we're going to get there. But I like the Saints in this game. They have the drive to play for. They should be able to win. I like them. Moving on next, we've got the Panthers and the Bucks. I am back now after taking a quick break. While I was taking a break, I did see the interesting news
that Broncos will, it appears, be looking for a coaching change at the end of the year. I didn't even talk about, will Vic Fangio say sayonara? And it appears that he will. I saw a report. He is 19-29 as of right now, before Saturday afternoon's game. And it appears as though he will be gone, that they will be looking for a new person. I saw that former Falcons coach, current Cowboys defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, appears to be the top candidate for the job, taking over for the Broncos. So I just think that's really interesting. If you guys want me to make a video where I talk about NFL coaching changes, especially the Minnesota Vikings coaching change and candidates that I think would fit best, comment down below, because I would actually do that. That would be fun. Where we go through different candidates that I think would be fit for the job. Do I like them? Do I not like them in this job? And yeah, I think that'd be interesting. So comment down below if you want to see that. And also comment down below your game picks. I want to let you know if you agree, disagree, or whatnot. So here we go. Panthers, Bucks, coming up next. The Carolina Panthers are coming off of a loss, like we talked about. Panthers are coming off of a loss to the Saints. The Bucks are coming off of a win over the Jets. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have already clinched the NFC South. They are currently third in the NFC with a record of 12-4. I already kind of talked I didn't already talk about it. Panthers are 5-11 and out of the playoffs. I think something really crazy is Antonio Brown, but we'll talk more about that in just a minute, so we'll get there. Panthers will be without cornerback Stephon Gilmore in this game. Questionable, wide receiver Robbie Anderson and defensive tackle Derek Brown. As for the Bucks, they will be without running back Ronald Jones, linebacker JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul. Doubtful in this game is corner Richard Sherman and questionable center Ryan Jensen. So, now I will talk about the AB situation. So, if you don't know what happened, the Bucks released AB this week, Antonio Brown, wide receiver, after what happened last week. So, if you don't know what happened, the Jets played the Bucks. I'll just let you know I'm not going to be taking a side of the story. I'm not going to be favoring AB's side, and I'm not going to be favoring BA's side. I'm just going to say what I know. So what happened was the game was going on, and then all of a sudden, Antonio Brown's on the Bucs sideline taking off his gear. And from the videos I've seen, he takes off his big pads, tosses them on the bench, and then he's got his undershirt that he takes off, yoink, into the stands. But I think what's most important about this situation is understanding who knew that Antonio Brown was left-handed. Like, I'm left-handed too, but I don't throw left-handed. I throw right-handed, but I write with my left hand, so I was proud to see that he was left-handed. What are some other players, wide receivers? I know Jarvis Landry's left-handed. I don't know. I just feel like wide receivers are left-handed a lot of times, and no one knows. So, yeah. Comment down below if you knew that AB was left-handed, because I did not. But, so he takes his shirt off, boom, into the stands, takes off his gloves, throws them in the stands, and then walking away, and then he gallops through the end zone on the other side of the field, going like this, and fans are clapping and filming because everyone's confused at what's going on, so no one has any idea. And then he leaves. So then came the report that he was asked to leave the sideline by Bruce Arians. So then what we think is that allegedly, I'm going to say that because we don't know for sure, allegedly, Antonio Brown claims that he was too injured to play, to go back in. He was already playing in the game, but he claimed his ankle was bothering him, so he couldn't go back in. And then, so this is from AB's side, so he was hurt, he was injured. I'll get more about hurt versus injured later, because there's a difference. He's injured, he can't go in, so then BA comes over, and when I say BA, by the way, that's the Bucs coach, Bruce Arians. So BA comes over and tells him, yo, get back in the game.
And he's like, no. And then BA is like, yeah, get in the game. What are you doing? And he's like, no. Sender's like, all right, so then leave. And sure enough, he took that literally and he left. Right off the field, like I just explained. He left the game. But now, from the BA side, is that he didn't know that he was injured, so he was just like, what are you doing? Just get back in the game. Like, why are you being so rebellious here? And why aren't you getting back in the game? Because the claim from BA is that he didn't know that AB was injured. But this is what's interesting to me. Earlier on the injury report, from what I believe, Brown showed up on the injury report as with an ankle injury. But he was still able to play in the game because it wasn't like he hadn't played at all in the game and now they're like, all right, so go in for the first time. No, he'd been out there in the game running routes and I believe he had a couple catches. But the thing that confuses me is, so yes, we know he's hurt, so now we know, so BA knows that he's hurt. But in the moment, because he'd already been playing, my thought is maybe Brown was not vocal, that he was too injured to go back in. Even though we knew he was already hurt because he already showed up, but maybe he wasn't vocal, yo, I can't go back in because it hurts. He was just like, no, I'm not going back in. So that is the thing so that's the Arians case, is that he didn't know because he wasn't vocal, even though it appears as though, obviously, Bruce Arians knew that his ankle was bothering him, but he didn't know it was bothering him to that extent. Then we've got the Antonio Brown side of the situation, which we've basically already said, but it's like, I can't go back in the game. But then Bruce Arians comes out and says he thinks it also could be because he was getting a lack of targets. And I think it's interesting because we know that Antonio Brown has had some instances in the past. This is not the first time that he's been in a weird situation before that he's gotten himself into. I think that it's almost naive at this point. I've had people ask me this week, like, do you think Antonio Brown's going to retire because of this? And I say, or like, is he done? Or is another team going to sign him? And sometimes, like, I tell people, it's almost naive at this point. Like, I'd love to say that another team's not going to sign him, because, like, look at what he did. I'd love to say that another team's not going to sign him. Like, what he did was just weird, and there was clearly a disconnect between AB and BA. There was a disconnect. But what I think is that it's almost naive at this point to think that Antonio Brown's completely done with the NFL, because, I mean, I believe it's twice, but the dude's already retired twice and come out of retirement twice, so it's like, you never know at this point anymore. Like, I think a beginner would say he's retired, or a beginner would say he's completely done, but if you're someone that's seen the NFL for a few years now, you know he's not completely done yet. There's still a chance. Because, I mean, he played for the Steelers, you know, and then he got traded to he played for the Steelers for how many years? Then he got traded to the Raiders. Didn't work out there. He was frustrated. He had his whole helmet fiasco. Nothing was going right with him and the Raiders. So the team cut him. And he was there for only the offseason. And then I don't remember if he was out for a whole season or if it was the same year. Then I just remember, so I don't remember if he completely retired then. Yeah, I'm assuming I think he retired after the Raiders scenario. Then he came out of retirement to play, and he signed with the New England Patriots, where he played with Tom Brady for one game. He was there for like a week and a half, and then the Patriots released him. And I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, after the Patriots cut him, he retired again. So that's his second retirement. And then he came out of retirement for the second time to sign last year with the Bucs. And then he played with the Bucs last year, and then he got re-signed again this year. So it's like he's retired twice and come out of retirement twice. So it is almost a beginner, naive way to say that he's done with the NFL, because we've seen it happen more than once. So, yeah, it's interesting.
So we just spent the past how long talking about Antonio Brown. I like the Bucks in this game. They can't clinch the number 1 seed anymore because the Packers already clinched the number 1 seed. I do like the Bucks. They're playing this game solely for seeding purposes. They could reach the number 2 seed. I believe who is number 2 in the NFC? It is who is it? Cowboys? No, aren't the Cowboys? Cowboys are down to 4. So it would be the team in the West is number 2. The Rams are right now the number 2. So they could overtake the Rams, I think, but I guess I don't know for sure. It's between the Rams and Cardinals on which team wins the NFC West. I like the Bucks in this game. They have things to play for. I think they're going to put the AB situation behind them. Bucks have something to play for. They're going for seeding purposes. The Panthers are on the road. They've got nothing to play for. I do like Tampa Bay in this game. Moving on, we've got the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Our first NFC West showdown is right here. It is the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Seattle Seahawks are coming off of a win over the Detroit Lions. The Arizona Cardinals are coming off of a win over the Dallas Cowboys, everybody. The Seattle Seahawks have a record of 6-10. They're out of the playoffs. The Arizona Cardinals are currently 5th in the NFC. They have a record of 11-5. They already clinched a playoff spot. The Cardinals can clinch the NFC West with a win and a Rams loss to the 49ers, which is possible. The NFC West is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. So is the Saints, and will the Saints clinch a playoff spot or will it be the 49ers? And I think that's going to be just as interesting as are the Cardinals or Rams going to win the NFC West. It's going to be really fun to watch. Report time. Seahawks will be without right tackle Brandon Shell, defensive tackle Al Woods, linebacker Bobby Wagner, safety Ryan Neal are all out for this game. Cardinals defensive end J.J. Watt is not going to be playing in this game, but he returned to practice this week, and he could be returning for the postseason. At least that's what they're aiming for. Cardinals will be without running back Chase Edmonds, wide receiver Rondale Moore, defensive end Jordan Phillips, and corner Marco Wilson. Questionable in this game for the Cardinals, running back James Conner, and defensive end Zach Allen. So the Cardinals do have some pieces missing, but personally I think even with the pieces missing for the Patriots, or no, not the Patriots, I was looking at the Patriots. Even with the pieces missing for the Cardinals, they should be able to win this game. The Seahawks have been they've been significantly under par this year. They are not looking like a playoff team at all, and it's interesting to see what will happen with Russell Wilson at the end of the year. Will he return? Will he get traded? What's going to happen? Same with Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll's going to stay the coach, but he's 70 years old, so who knows what's going to happen. The Cardinals, well, they started hot, like the best team in the NFL at the beginning of the year, and then they hit a major cold spell recently. And I do think that the Cardinals are going to be able to get it together for this game. I like the Cardinals in this one. They have things to play for. The Cardinals, they know that the NFC West is on the line. They have to win this game in order to win. I think that that's going to put them with a vengeance for this game. I like the Arizona Cardinals to be able to take the win over the Seattle Seahawks. Cardinals win. Moving on, we have got the Patriots and Dolphins coming up next. Patriots and Dolphins are coming up next. They are our first of two AFC East showdowns. The New England Patriots are coming off of an absolute blowout win over the Jaguars. I believe they won by a score of 50-10 or something like that. The Dolphins are coming off of a loss to the Tennessee Titans. They had all their playoff fire extinguished. Report time. The Patriots have already clinched a playoff spot. They can clinch the AFC East with a win and a Bills loss to the Jets, which is very unlikely to happen, but that is the next game we're going to talk about, is Bills-Jets, so we'll get there. They can clinch the number one seed still. The Patriots can, but it is very complicated, so I'm not going to read it off. Patriots are 5th in the AFC. They have a record of 10-6. I think that's likely where they're going to stay. I don't think that they're going to be able to win the NFC East, but strange things have happened. Patriots will be without safety Kyle Duggar in this game. Questionable in this game, running back Damian Harris, wide receiver Jacoby Myers, left tackle Isaiah Wynn, center David Andrews, defensive tackle Christian Barmore, and linebacker Donta Hightower are questionable. The Dolphins have no injuries to report of. I mean, that doesn't mean they have none completely. That could mean third string or whatever. But I only took starters. None of their starting players, unless it's on the IR, because that's a different situation. But, yeah. Patriots, it's kind of hard not to pick the Patriots in this game. This game is in Miami Gardens, but the Patriots scored 50 points last week, so I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be able to win this game. I like the Patriots to win. I think it's going to be interesting to see who is the Offensive Rookie of the Year, whether it's Mac Jones here, the Patriots quarterback, or if it's going to be Jamar Chase, the Bengals rookie wide receiver. Personally, I'm not saying I think Jamar is going to win, but I hope Jamar wins. Being that Justin Jefferson, my boy, did not win last year, and I still think is a bit bogus that he didn't win last year. I want to see Jamar do it because if Mac Jones wins, then I almost do feel like that would be absolute neglecting every position on the football field rather than quarterback. Because quarterbacks win Offensive Rookie of the Year every year, and I don't see any reason why. I mean, sure, Mac Jones led to his team to the playoffs, but Jamar Chase is arguably the best rookie receiver we've ever had. Like, I'm not going to say he's better than Justin Jefferson, but from a rookie standpoint, he is. But also do remember that Jamar had he's going to have a total of 3 more games than Jefferson did. Justin Jefferson didn't start until week 3 of his rookie year, and he only had 16 games. Jamar started week 1, and he's got a 17th, so really he's got a 3-game advantage. So I'm not saying that Jefferson's rookie season was better, or I'm not saying that it's unfair to judge based on that, but I'm just throwing it out there. But I would be surprised if Jamar... Well, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if Jamar doesn't win, but I would be a little frustrated with the NFL if Jamar does not win. I think he has every right to win. But for this game, I do like the Patriots. Patriots, explosive team all year. And Dolphins, well, they were about to come back from the dust and make the playoffs somehow, but the Titans came out and they said nope. I like the Patriots in this game. Patriots have something to play for, even though they're mostly playing for seeding. They still do have a chance to win the AFC East. I like the Patriots in this one. Dolphins are out of the postseason. They had a good run, but it wasn't quite enough. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots to win this game. Coming up next, we have the Jets taking on the Bills. We have got the Jets and Bills coming up next. AFC East showdown. Here we go. Boom. Jets are out of the playoffs. They have a record of 4-12. The Bills have clinched a playoff spot. They can clinch the AFC East with a win or a Patriots loss to the Dolphins. They are currently 4th in the AFC with a record of 10-6. The Jets are coming off of they lost to the Bucs. Bills are coming off of a win against the Falcons, I believe, or Panthers. I just know the Bills won. They beat the Falcons, I was right. Jets will be without wide receiver Elijah Moore in this game. He's been out for quite a while now. Bills doubtful in this game, wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders. That's the injury report. I like the Bills in this game. I don't know how much to say besides Bills can clinch the AFC East with a win, and I'm going to have them do it right here. Jets have been bad, but that's not surprising because the Jets are bad. I don't see any reason why the Bills shouldn't be able to win this game. It's at home. They can clinch the AFC East at home with a win. And I'm going to go with the AFC East to be clinched right here. Bills win the AFC East in my prediction with a win right here against the Jets. That was a quick pick, but pretty easy pick.
Moving on, we've got my personal favorite game of the week and our final late game. It is the Niners against the Rams.
Oh boy, do I hope this game is broadcasted in our area. I really want to watch. It is the Niners, and they are taking on the Rams. Here we go. The 49ers have currently clinched nothing. The reason why that's so crazy is because just like a month ago, not even, a few weeks ago, we thought that the Niners would be a lock to make the playoffs. They're going to be the number 5 seed, or they're going to be the number 6 seed. It's pretty certain. It seemed like this is how it was going to go. The Cardinals or the Rams were going to be the number 5 seed. Well, it seemed like the Rams were going to be the 5 seed. And then the Cardinals, but yeah. Then it seemed like the Niners were going to be a lock for the 6th seed, and then it was all going to come down to the 7th seed. But it's not really that way, and the Niners are currently at risk of not making the playoffs. 49ers can clinch a playoff spot with a win or a Saints loss. They are playing the Falcons. The 49ers are currently 6th in the NFC with a record of 9-7. The Rams have already clinched a playoff spot. They can clinch the NFC East with a win or a Cardinals loss against the Seahawks. The Rams are second in the NFC with a record of 12-4. Niners will be without corner Kwan Williams. He is out in this game. Safety Jimmy Ward is also out. Questionable is quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. He did not play last week. The 49ers rolled out with, what is his name? The guy from Marshall, Minnesota, here. I know him. He's from Minnesota. Well, I don't know him, but NDSU. Trey Lance. I remembered. Trent Williams, the left tackle, is also questionable. And, as is linebacker Aziz Al-Shaair, and linebacker Dre Greenlaw, and safety Jaquiski Tart. For the Rams, they will be with running back Cam Akers. He is set to make his season debut this week. They will be without running back Darrell Henderson. He is out for this game, and he will likely be out for the next week too, at least.
Oh, man, this is such a good game. 49ers clinch a playoff spot with a win. If they lose, then it looks like the Saints are going to win because all they'd have to do is beat the Falcons, which is probable. But then again, on the other side, the Rams clinched the NFC West with a win, and if they lose, then the Cardinals have a chance to clinch because they're playing the Seahawks, and that's probable. So this is going to really throw up the NFC playoff picture, is this game. I'm excited for it. I'm going to go with Rams.
Yep, I said it. I'm going to go with the Rams. Here's the reason.
Jimmy Garoppolo is questionable in this game, even though I think he'll probably play. Still, though, even if Trey Lance has to play this game, that's going to be tough. I mean, he's a rookie. He's a first-rounder, but, I mean, he's still a rookie. Garoppolo has actually kind of proved himself this year. And for the Rams, well, they've shown their abilities this year. And they've shown that they can be such a really good team, and they've shown some low spots, too. Game is in Inglewood. I'm going to go with the Rams to clinch the NFC West, and I'm going to go with the 49ers to hit the road. Saints make the playoffs, and the 49ers are out. That is my prediction right there. Because I predicted a Rams win, Rams clinch the NFC NFC West. The Cardinals are the number 5 seed, which means the 49ers are out, and the Saints sneak in as the number 7 seed. That's what I think is going to happen. But I think it's going to be interesting. Oh, man. Really good game to watch, but I am going to go with the Rams. I feel like Cam Akers is going to come out good in this game. He hasn't played at all this year, and I just have a feeling in him. I just have a feeling in the Rams. I feel like the Rams are going to win this game. Just imagine the Vikings if they would have beat the 49ers. The Vikings would be in this scenario, and they would likely be playing to make the playoffs today or tomorrow. But
They couldn't beat the 49ers, and look at them now. We're just sitting in sadness and watching all the other games
and hoping Mike Zimmer gets fired. But I think that the Rams are going to win this game. This is a really good game. Rams take the win due to the uncertainty at quarterback, and it's in Inglewood, and I just feel like the Rams are going to have a flame. My player to watch is going to be Cam Akers. I'm going to go with the Rams. Moving on, Sunday Night Football on NBC. It is the Raiders and Chargers set to close out my video.
The Chargers and Raiders are the end of my video. Sunday Night Football on NBC, 7:20 p.m. tomorrow night. Chargers are coming off of a win over the Denver Broncos. The Raiders are coming off of a win over the Indianapolis Colts. Here we go, everybody. Chargers, Raiders, neither teams have clinched anything. Both teams... Oh, man, that was a weird burp. Chargers clinch a playoff spot with a win. They are 9-7, 7th in the AFC. The Raiders can clinch a playoff spot with a win. They are 8th in the AFC with a record of 9-7. Something interesting, I think, is the Raiders can also clinch a playoff spot with a Colts loss against the against the Jaguars, and a Steelers loss against the Ravens. Even though it looks like the Colts probably won't lose,
the Raiders do have a backbone, but very unlikely that's still going to happen. Such an interesting game that this is a win and get in scenario. Yes, I'm sure you've seen the headlines by now. If the Jaguars beat the Colts, both teams could make the playoffs if they ended in a tie, which means they could theoretically kneel the ball for 60 minutes, end in a 0-0 tie, and both teams would make the playoffs. But I have absolute respect for head coach Brandon Staley of the Chargers. He said, nope, we're going to go out there, we're going to play to win, and I respect that, because if they chose to kneel the ball, that would just be like scamming the NFL, and that would be not cool. They're playing the game the way it should be played, and I respect that. Woo! All right, Chargers, questionable in this game. Linebacker Drew Tranquil, and that is the only one. For the Raiders, Raiders corner Nate Hobbs was charged with the DUI. Still set to play in the game, though. Questionable running back Josh Jacobs, tight end Darren Waller, defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins. Bullard is with the Falcons. And corner Casey Hayward for the Raiders. Oh, man. So big pieces could be missing if Jacobs doesn't play and if Waller doesn't play. Those are the two people. If those two don't play, then I'm 100% going with the Chargers. I do like the Chargers in this game. They have had some cold spots, but for the most part, they've had a decently successful year. The Raiders were they started the year 3-0, and then there was the whole Gruden situation, and then there was the Ruggs situation, and then there was the Arnett situation, and then it seemed like, how is this team still winning games when they've got all these different distractions going on? But, yeah. I think this is going to be a really good game to watch tomorrow night. I'm really interested in watching it. I'll miss the beginning of the game, but I'll be watching the rest of it. I like the Chargers in this one. Chargers are just simply the better team overall. I know the Raiders are probably going to have momentum. They're coming off of a really close game. They're coming off of a win over the Colts, who looked poised to clinch a playoff spot. But Raiders were able to pull it out, and I have respect for them. I do still like the Chargers. They are the better overall team. I just think that the Raiders are just... They've gotten lucky this year. And that's not necessarily like their games, but I think through them fighting all their distractions, that shows true adversity of a team, which is a good thing. But I just don't feel like they're going to win this game. I like the Chargers. And I don't know what to say besides I've just got that feeling. The Chargers clinch a playoff spot with a win, which means the Raiders are out. So that means that in the AFC, Patriots are number 5. Wait. Patriots would be number 5. They would be number 7, likely. And the Colts would be number 6. Colts are 6. They're 7. And then the Patriots are 5. That's my prediction. So that is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like on the video and comment down below if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Click right here if you want to see my most recent video. Click right here to see the playlist of all game previews made by the NFL for this week. And click over here if you want to subscribe.